Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spirit Level. We are always happy to have you guys here. Just really enjoying this discussion and continuing on with all things life. And today, all things love.
Yay! Love is awesome.
Yes,
So
I'm
what a great thing to talk
Kara.
about. I'm Alma.
And thank you so much for joining this discussion. Last time, when we started covering the basics of spirituality, we had talked about trust because that's the one thing that introduces you into the whole life is trusting where you're going and trusting where it's going to take you. However, it takes more than just trust in your heart. Sometimes you've got to make sure that you can allow love in your heart as well.
That is very, very true. Allowing love in your heart is a big step to taking your walk down defining what you believe
Yeah,
because belief and love kind of go hand in hand.
right. Because you gotta love what you're doing in order to continue believing it. If you don't love it, you're gonna quit it, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so I know that you do a lot of things. A lot you involve a lot of thought involving like love, such as like kindness and stuff. What would you define personally love as?
I like acronyms. And so for me, love is loyally open, virtuous energy.
Oh,
And so it's just commitment, it's openness, it's purity, and it's passion. So it all comes together to shape what love is to me.
okay. Oh, yeah, I forget that you use the acronyms a lot for things. I see that in a
I
lot of things that we've talked about, so it's very interesting that you do that.
yeah, that's my flarbity. It just comes to me. So I embrace it. I love it.
Love, yes. I would say probably for me, love would be embracing and accepting every aspect of everybody and everything and treating it with the same care that you would for yourself. I know that's probably kind of branching off. I guess love is kind of a hard thing to just solely define.
Oh, for sure. It really
Yeah.
is because we all experience it differently. So, in a way, we're all going to come up with different ideas on what constitutes love.
Right. And I'm sure the first, of course, we know that the first thing that pops up when we think love is like relationships, ooh, this boy and girl together, ooh, you know, uh, like a romantic type of interest. I mean, I would say, is a deeper form, possibly, of love. But love is more than just that you build relationships. It's for yourself and what you're doing too, as well as your surroundings.
Oh, for sure. I think a good way to think about it, if your mind thinks of love in the form of relationships, love is a relationship with yourself, with the divine, with the people in your life, with
Yeah,
the things that fill your moments. Love is like an energy that is continually present. And so it takes many different shapes and forms.
yeah.
So pinning it down to one definition, definitely hard to do.
Yeah, it really can be hard. And I know that some people who may have trust issues or the feeling like they need to know like everything, they might find it a little bit harder to obtain because if you're basing what is appropriate for you to love based on that, you can be really limiting yourself. I mean,
Oh, for
nothing
sure.
nothing can be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. So really, what's the best way that we can really utilize love is just loving everybody for who they are, you know? Faults and all, even their mistakes, we can disagree, with something in the world or some policy or somebody's actions, but it doesn't mean that we have to devoid our love.
I agree. I agree. And I think that's something that's maybe the hardest step to take when you're trying to find a healthy definition of love, because so often we have these broken definitions that involve control and attachment and
Oh yeah.
idolization and expectations and a lot of these negative kind of words that make it almost toxic to love. But real love, lasting love, unconditional love, these are things that feel good to experience. And
Right.
you can wrap them into all aspects of your life, from the people you deal with to the things you enjoy in your free time to the
Yeah.
relationship you carry with yourself.
Right. And I know, like, with a lot of the conditions of our circumstances and stuff, it can be difficult to find that. Like, what if, I was in a circumstance where, say, like, my aunt or uncle did something really horrible, right? And I could be here, I could either say, oh, well, since you did that, I just don't think I can love them anymore. Or we can say, okay, well, I understand that you made this mistake. I still love you, but what you did was still not right. We have to carry
Yes.
that consistently in order to learn that unconditional, I would say.
Oh, for sure. Unconditional love goes hand in hand with acceptance. If you're not fully accepting of someone, something, or yourself, I struggle to find unconditional love because any
Yeah.
part of rejection makes it a conditional gift of love, right?
Yeah.
So by opening yourself up to being fully accepting of whatever you're thinking of loving, right? That's how you tap into unconditional love, because there's no limits placed on it. There's no expiration date or conditions. It's there, it's present, it's free, and you give it away.
Right. One interesting speculation. I went through kind of a short moment where I was uh, watching other people's videos about like their confessions and their memories and stuff. And actually, a few of them that I had read and watched actually said that they remember being here on this earth to learn and spread love. Like that was the meaning of life, you know?
Oh, certainly. I resonate with that so much. Spreading love is the way to heal the world. Like it, it feels good to give love to other people. And then those people get to feel good because they're getting loved. And it's like a snowball effect. When you
Right.
start sharing real love, it fills the world with that love that you wanted to see. So it's a positive effect and experience.
Right. Even if it's not given back to you right away. Like if I were to go to somebody and be like, hey, by the way, I really love that you're doing this, or I really love this about you. And let's say if they're this bitter person who's really closed off, right? And they may not necessarily reciprocate that and give me the same vibe, but in sharing that love, I actually planted a seed in their memory. They're going to remember when they start to wake more up to that part of themselves, and they're going to remember, oh well, I remember this person, they never treated me bad no matter how bad I treated them you know
Hmm. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Like how kind you treat people. That's one of the aspects of love. Kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding, these things that go hand in hand with helping you feel closer to people. That's the essence of love, is making those connections and feeling and, opening yourself up to that positive energy.
Right. But there's also, like you said too, there's the fact of loving ourselves. as well. Like that can be especially hard because we know our flaws, we know what we struggle with, you know? Um, uh, what is it? We are our own worst critics, correct?
Oh, for sure. Hmm.
So, like, I remember times when I would look at my flaws and I felt like I had to be perfect in order to love myself at my best, in order to have that feeling. And so I was looking at all these flaws and I was thinking, oh, um, I need to start doing this and I procrastinate. I need to fix this and I need to fix that and I need to fix this and I need to fix that and my life needs to be here and here and here in order to affect this. And then suddenly, in that time, what I wasn't realizing is that that doesn't fix. There are some things in life that we're going to have continual struggle with no matter what. And if we are focusing our love for ourselves based on that, we are never going to be able to accept ourselves. And if we can't get to a point where we can't accept ourselves, we can't get to a point in order to reach a feeling of peace within ourselves.
Very true. I'm a huge advocate that if you want to share love with others, you have to learn how to share it with yourself. You have to understand how love speaks to you, what it means to you, so that when you take it out into the world, you don't feel shorted or slighted by people taking advantage of you or maybe not loving you back the same way you give.
Right.
Unconditional love is free and it's generous and it's overflowing and it just fills you from the inside out and makes you want to be there to share it with others. But if you don't have that love on the inside, that unconditional acceptance of who you are,
Mm.
it's hard to give love to other people
Right.
because you're pouring from an empty cup.
Yeah. And now after going through all of this, looking back at when I judged myself so harsh, and I didn't give myself the love that I needed to really reach that point of being at ease, now I can look back and I can be like, okay, well, I'm a procrastinator. Yeah, I know I could work on that. I know it sometimes gets in the way of some things, but you know what? It doesn't matter because this is who I am and this is who I need to love. Even in our darker selves, our more negative emotions like getting angry at like maybe little things or something, we have to get to a point where we can accept, okay, maybe this isn't okay to necessarily act on, but I accept this as a part of myself. And so therefore, I'm still going to love myself through it all anyway.
That's a big step to come to. It
Yes.
really is. Because so much of our society conditions us to look down on flaws and to
Mm.
try to minimize them, hide them, pretend they don't exist,
Oh, yeah.
and there's no acceptance that we're flawed beings. We put on a show to pretend we've got it all together. Meanwhile, on the inside, we're falling apart. And
Right.
there's no love for that part of you that feels a mess. And it's
Right.
okay to be a mess. That's part of the journey, putting your pieces together.
Yeah, and loving every single one of those pieces as you go. Now I know it's easier said than done, absolutely by far. But just trying to acknowledge that this is a necessary part of this sort of journey is at least a start to that, you know. It's going to take time and it's going to take talking to yourself better, nicer, being kinder to yourself, not letting those negative thoughts. It's going to take a lot of practice bypassing that kind of thing where, you're not fulfilling this expectation that's perfection. But
Hmm.
once you reach that, you really can actually discover what true love for yourself is and the real benefits.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So, what would you say? Okay, so once you actually are able to start loving herself. How would you say that in that mindset, it can affect your vision of life? Once you reach that mindset, what's some of the things that you start noticing an effect from before
All
versus
it
now?
it's like flipping a switch. Before, my life was devoid of the love that made me appreciate life.
Mm-hmm.
And after filling that cup, the cup is overflowing, so everything is full of love. I love to do the things I do. I love to see the people I have in my life. I love the tiny little details that come together, even in a rough moment,
Yeah.
that add something special and make me love that moment. It's just
Mm-hmm.
every, it's like the light is shining on all the good in the moment when you lead forward with love.
Yeah. I would say it would probably, one effect I would say has been the most beneficial has been learning more gratitude for what I do have in my life and who I have in my life. Um, I mean, sure, you could be stuck at one job for a long time. You know, maybe you don't have that grand 5, 6 bedroom house that you wanted, but when you can fall into a state of unconditional love and recognizing that love and everything, suddenly you start to get gratitude for all the things you have. Like, okay, maybe it's only a 2 bedroom house, but you know what? I love this house because it has housed me through all these years when I struggled. So therefore, it is important to me rather than just being over here like, ah, I'm still stuck over here. I mean, like, which mindset would you really rather have? You know?
That's a great question because it is kind of a choice. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer that where you focus your energy is linked and connected to what you experience. So if your mindset is filled with love, you're going to get to experience a lot more love because it's what
Right.
you're focusing on. And the flip side holds true, where if you're finding the lack of love in your life,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to notice all the emptiness of where it's not quite fulfilling your desires to feel
Right.
love.
It's like even with relationships, you could look at somebody and you could be like, okay, I've been with this person for 10 years and oh my gosh, this flaw just drives me crazy and I can't stand blah 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 because it bothers me. Or you could learn to love them with that anyway, you know? And that way you find more acceptance and it makes it easier to deal with those kind of things that happen in life. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love, love helps you get through your moments a lot
yeah.
easier.
Yeah, if you
It,
can find just something in that moment or some aspect of that moment or situation that you're in that you can still love, you still have something you can hold on to while you're hanging on, like imagine that you're on this rope, like and you've fallen down to the bottom of the rope, right? You can let go and think that, oh, well, it's all doomed, or you can be like, you know what, there is something that I love in this, okay? I love my cat. I love my dog. Oh my gosh, I love getting to come home. And that's one climb up. And then you keep climbing up that rope, by finding love for more in your life and recognizing its positive effects and where it's leading you.
I call that adorational appreciation because it's just you adore the details of your life so very much that it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a positive experience.
Yeah.
And so you keep living on appreciation and gratitude and thankfulness, and it fills your moments over and over and over. And you just get to kind of coast on good waves of appreciation.
Right. And in a hard world and hard situations, I mean, it can be hard to do, because you have these ideas of what it should be, the things that you should be loving. You have these dreams, but just really having that gratitude is just really is going to carry you through. Just
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of love and holding on to the to the little silver lining of your life, um, I know that materialism is not something that we generally um, cover in this sort of thing because we are the spiritual channel, not the material channel. But I just like it would be really fun for us to share something that we love.
I like that. I
Because
like that idea a lot.
yes, because I think that will make us smile, when we see it. So I'm going to share
Absolutely.
something that I absolutely love. Okay, so here, and you're going to recognize this, Alma. I have my jar of dice.
Oh, yes,
You
I
get to
do recognize that.
see it. You get to see it. Yes, I I have this admiration for dice. For some reason, I don't play any games that involve it. I don't like. It's really just collector and play, right? So I got this jar, and then I wanted to put a whole bunch of dice in as a decoration, and that way it's like, oh, like because it's so soothing to me, and that's why I love it. It's just because, like, when I have it in my hand and I'm rolling it around, this is just, it's so soothing. It's almost like a physical ASMR to me, you know?
I love that.
Yes.
It's like self-soothing, it's
Oh.
something you love and it helps you feel better in a low moment.
Yes, so I do very much enjoy this jar, and I've got all kinds of colors and stuff in here. And it's just something that I love being able to see up on my desk. So it's just a little happy to put a smile on my face.
That's what we should all have and look forward to. Just a
Yes,
little bit of something that lifts your spirits.
yes, it's the silver lining. Not
Absolutely.
not saying that materialism should be, objects should be, because those can always disappear. But just a little happy just to see when you feel like you're down.
Well, my item is very similar in the same kind of way that I use it when um when I'm feeling down, low, a little out of sorts. It's my favorite tarot deck. And it's a way for me to kind of tap into the insight and guidance that I might not be hearing in the moment. So
Yeah,
whether I'm sharing it with myself or with others, it's a good way for me to feel connected in the moment. And that
yeah.
opens that door to love.
And then you can tap back into that love in your heart again.
Absolutely, a self-fulfilling cycle.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, in no way should we admire objects like only, rely only on that. But it's fun to have a little happy for yourself. It's fun to enjoy the things that you love and just embrace that.
Absolutely. Part of life is enjoying the life that you lead. And materialism isn't all bad.
No.
If you take pleasure in what you do, bring joy to your heart, but know that these things are just passing pieces of nothing
Right.
and not to hold them up above how you treat the people in your life.
Right. Right. Um, adding love to trust is really going to be able to heighten your ability to empathize. And when you can empathize more people will open up their love to you as well.
Absolutely. Love love leads the way to more love. I was recently talking to somebody that mentioned that he had been hurt in the past so
Mhm.
many times that he didn't extend trust to people
Oh,
because he felt they had to prove it to him. And I
oh,
tried to explain that if you're trying to make somebody prove something to you that it exists, it's it's not going to happen until you give first. Give trust to get trust. Give love to get love.
mhm,
And if you're always waiting for somebody to do it first, you
mhm.
might just find yourself forever waiting on something that never comes to pass.
Right. You have to be that example, you know? You have to be that example of what can be found and be and consistently too. Not just
Hmm.
partial, not just partial, but like, oh, well, I guess he's never gonna, reciprocate to me, so I'm just gonna quit. You
Right.
continue that. It needs to come from your heart, truthfully, and that consistency. People notice that.
Hmm. I agree. I like to go out in the world and share unconditional love with everyone I meet because I feel that's the best version of myself. And so when I cross paths with somebody, I want to give them the best of me. So no matter what the next moment brings, I know I made the most of this one with them. And what I find is that by giving so much of myself to the moment,
Mhm.
people meet me in the middle and they give so much of themselves back. And it's so, so
Yes.
fulfilling, so rewarding to meet a passing stranger and just have them tell you their life story. And I love it.
Yes. Yes. And of course, as always, don't forget to love yourself too. Love others, love yourself with all your heart, and honestly, keep it consistent. Never quit.
Absolutely. Start with loving yourself. And when you love yourself whole, you'll
Mhm.
realize how to love others whole.
Through all the ups and downs and through everybody's faults and through everything. Because the
Yeah.
world the world exists because of everything.
Right. We are all built upon our past experiences. So if you want to build a life that you can be happy with, fill it with love, fill it with trust, because the more your life is filled up, the better you're going to look back over your past and be happy with where you've been.
Mm-hmm. Right. Um, love, appreciate, share, and that's definitely a very important key. So first, trusting yourself, trusting the world, and then putting love into it, being that example of
Absolutely.
love.
Hmm.
Yes, easier said than done because I know a lot of people have experiences that may have jaded some of that. But I promise you that once you get through healing, um, you'll be able to discover that for yourself and just really be able to know deep down within yourself.
Absolutely.
However, I think we are going to call it for now, and we will definitely continue this discussion next time we meet with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining this and following and subscribing and listening to us. And absolutely, if you have any experiences of love that you'd like to share that was just really profound to you, we'd love to hear
Yes, we
it.
would. Just leave a comment and we'll get right back to you and just start up a conversation and share away.
Or share something that you love, like dice.
Yes.
Oops, that was loud. All right. Well, we will see you next time around, and you all have a wonderful night or day, whatever time it is for you.
Yes. Have a good one and we'll see you around next time.
Bye.
Bye.